This week's top stories in city events and city news. What started with shots fired outside a gas station in town ended with a police chase that resulted in many citizens drowned at the pier earlier this week. Multiple suspects in a vehicle fled the scene and led police directly off the pier in an attempt to evade custody. That was, however, until suspects almost drowned in the process and police had to dive to save their lives before they were sucked out to sea. The search party for the suspects covered a large area of the sea and included the helicopter with eyes from above. When one suspect was spotted in the water, an officer attempted to grab her but was struck by a large wave that left him unresponsive as well. Many other officers also almost drowned due to the rescue of the suspects, and there was chaos on scene. In what we assume was an attempt to locate their incapacitated friend in the ocean, another boat with unknown suspects rammed the police boat that was responding to the scene many times before fleeing with the helicopter on their tail. The police helicopter was also sent to monitor a large yacht, and police did perform a search but didn't find anyone of interest inside. When everyone was rescued from the ocean, EMS arrived on scene and took the suspects and officers who had water damage in their lungs to the ICU, and all parties were treated. The suspects were taken into custody, and there's no word that they were given time. Shots were fired on officers this week in town. A car was chased into an alleyway where suspects shot police, which resulted in an officer and suspect down. The suspect that was shot was picked up and taken in a getaway car that was involved in the police chase. The suspect stopped to leave their shot friend and continued on with the chase. The suspect's car eventually broke down and police were able to take two suspects occupying the vehicle into custody. In shorter news this week, a local man was saved after a terrible biking accident. Officers kept the man stable on scene for EMS to arrive. One suspect involved in a police chase on foot pulled a gun on an officer and was able to flee the scene in another suspect's car that arrived on the scene. Two suspects being chased by police were in and out of a parking lot trying to hide from police. The suspects eventually were able to get on bikes and flee inside the subway tunnels, where police lost sight entirely. A crazed local hit an EMS in training outside the hospital this week. The man that was hit was not terribly injured, but the incident did trigger some other locals driving large vehicles, and all involved cars were impounded. And in our final story tonight, a shootout on Grove involving police and multiple gangs was caught on camera this week. Faces not covered have been blurred to protect their identity, and the suspects in this shooting are still at large. I'm Baxter Babe, and that was this week's top stories. Thank you for watching and stay safe out there.